Welcome to Stamped and Signed Stories. Please like and subscribe to help me create better and more content. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about notarial acts. This will be a short video, so later on I'm going to get into a deeper dive on this topic specifically. Most people think notarizing a document is just signing a piece of paper and getting a stamp. But here's where notaries can get into trouble. Let's say someone shows up to signing an important document such as a trust, will, or power of attorney. They're in a rush, they forget their ID, and they say, "It's okay, you know who I am." Well, if you've only known this person by their voice on the phone or have only met a couple of times, then that can be a problem. As a notary, it is your duty to verify the identity of individual or an individual signing. If there's no valid identification, you can still have the document notarized. According to the Idaho Notary Handbook, page 8, under the heading Identify the Signer, and I'm going to quote here, it says, under personal knowledge, a person whom you have known for a considerable period of time and would recognize anywhere and any time can be identified on the basis of personal knowledge. This is a subjective standard, but notaries should be guided by the understanding that in the event of a legal challenge to the signer's identity, the notary would have to positively identify the person in court. Often this may be many years after a notarization took place. Personal knowledge is generally considered the best form of identification and thus requires no further proof of identity. So in cases like this, I've used this type of identification for those whom I've worked with on a regular basis. I still log their birth date, their social security number, if they are okay with me taking that, and also their right thumbprint. Because in Idaho specifically, a notary doesn't need to keep a journal log, but I make sure that I have that as a way to keep my signings organized. Back to the scenario, if you don't know the person and they are in a rush, do your best to calm them down, ask to push off the signing, or give other suggestions on how to prove their identity to you. I suggest that people have a picture of a government ID on their phone. Again, this can be a state ID like a driver's license, passport, government ID of some sort, or county, police, different things like that. They all have different IDs that definitely are valid in that scenario. Because later on, this could cause a civil legal battle, which you don't want to be in. So make sure that they always bring an ID or at least have a picture on their phone of an ID so you can make sure to identify them. And also make sure that everything is filled out correctly. Never rush with legal documents. Again, this can cost you way more later on in legal fees and battles, so make sure to always protect yourself from the possibility of being in a legal battle.